Welcome back. In this video, I want to share kind of a personal story with you guys, and I want to ask a question that I hope that you will answer in the comments. How pro-gun really are you? Do you believe that non-violent felons should lose their rights to protect themselves? So, I want to talk about a good friend of mine who is currently locked up in prison, specifically for being in possession of firearms, which, as you can see, is totally legal for those of us that don't have felonies. Well, his felony is a DUI. He got felony DUI. Now, I am not here to say that he made the right choices in what got him into this, and I'm going to explain some of the details, and that's why it's a little bit complicated, but I want to see what you guys think about this, because I don't think that someone that is a non-violent felon should lose their Second Amendment rights. I have always held the belief that if society deems someone safe enough to not be locked up, then they should have all of their rights. So, a little bit of backstory on this. This friend of mine got multiple DUIs. That's how the last one ended up being a felony. And when he went through his court process, they gave him an underlying sentence at the end, but in lieu of that sentence of years in prison for a felony DUI, he did a writer program, which is, you still do, it's like 6 months, but it's like minimum security, and it's, they're teaching you how to not be an alcoholic and drink and drive. I've never done a writer. I'm just telling you, what he told me about it. You do a lot of classes and stuff. Well, one of the things that he signed upon release is that he wouldn't be in possession of guns, among other things, no drinking, no drugs, those kinds of stipulations. So he did sign a piece of paper from the court saying that he would not be in possession of firearms. That's where it gets a little bit complicated, because he believes that that was under duress, which I kind of do understand. If you don't sign this, they're going to ship you off to prison. So you kind of have to sign it no matter what stipulations they put on you. And so that was one of the stipulations. Well, he is a staunch Second Amendment supporter. And, he got his DUI a couple years ago now. He hasn't drank, he hasn't done any drugs, he hasn't really done anything wrong since then. He is a father, he's got a daughter, in fact, he's got 2 daughters now, and he's a business owner. And he was just trying to get ahead in life, just like me, or you, or anyone else. Well, he also felt like he should be able to protect himself and be in possession of firearms, even though he signed something saying that he wouldn't. And so he was living in a halfway house in the next city south of us, basically. And, well, in halfway houses, they can come in and search your stuff, search your room whenever they want. And they found a Glock handgun and a Draco, like a little short AK. And they arrested him. Well, they brought him back to the county that he got his DUI in, which is where I currently reside and live. And they locked him up here. Well, the county where they arrested him, they dropped the gun charges. But this county here held him for violating his probation. So that's where he sat for quite a while. And then they imposed his sentence. And he's been locked up for 6 or 7 months now, out of 2 years. He's going to spend 2 years of his life locked up for being in possession of firearms as a felon, as a completely non-violent felon. His felony was only the fact that he got too many DUIs. Now, I'm not here to say that driving under the influence is a good thing, or that he shouldn't have gotten in trouble for that. What I am saying is that I don't think that someone that gets in trouble for driving under the influence, if they haven't done anything violent, that person should not lose the right to protect themselves with firearms. Now, this video is sponsored by Aura. Aura protects me online from the threats that are out there. While all this stuff can protect me and my family from actual physical threats, Aura protects us from online threats, and they can protect you as well. So if you use my link down below, the first link in the description, you can try Aura out for 2 weeks, that's 14 days, absolutely free, and decide if it's something that you want to keep or not. If you do, for a very low price, only $12 a month, you get a lot of online security stuff, and they package it all together in a very simple, easy to set up app. And they go online and they find all of the data brokers that have your information out there, and they submit opt-out requests on your behalf, getting you off of all of those data broker lists, and almost immediately you stop getting spam calls, you stop getting scam calls. They also have password management. They give you a VPN so that you can browse the internet totally safely and anonymously, included antivirus software, 3-bureau credit monitoring, all of this stuff that normally costs you a bunch of different fees from a bunch of different services, and they just package it all together for you for just $12 a month. But again, if you use my link down below, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical, you get to try it out for 2 weeks absolutely free. I've been using it for almost a year now, and it's been a huge help. I don't get spam, I don't get scam calls anymore, and I absolutely love Aura, and so will you. So my friend is gonna fight this. I mean, he's between a rock and a hard place. He's locked up in prison at the moment, but he does have a lawyer that he's in contact with regularly, and he calls me about once a month. In fact, I talked to him last weekend, and I actually, after talking to him about the whole thing, I asked him if he would be okay if I did a video about his situation. Now, I'm not gonna say his name or anything else, and he will be the first to admit, along with me, he knows he screwed up by getting those DUIs. He knows that he signed something from the court saying that he wouldn't be in possession of firearms, and then he was in possession of firearms. But what do you guys think about that? They basically forced someone in his position to sign that, giving away their Second Amendment right for something totally nonviolent. Now, they have lots of different excuses for this. One of them being that if you're on probation or parole, they're looking out for the safety of their probation officers. They'd have to come visit you and, make sure that you're following the rules, not being in possession of drugs or drinking or any of those kinds of things. And so they don't want you to have firearms in your possession when those officers have to come visit. Well, if you don't have violent stuff on your record, if you're in there for, on probation for totally nonviolent things, such as a DUI, I mean, the probation officers shouldn't really have to worry that you're going to do something to them when they come visit you. If the police come over to my house, I'm allowed to have firearms, and I think the likelihood isn't really any different. I'm not going to try to do anything violent, and neither would he. Now, I understand that they don't know what everyone is like and what they might be capable of doing, and a criminal is a criminal, I think, as far as they look at it. But I'm a Second Amendment absolutist, and I think that if you are deemed to be safe, to be free and out in public, well, then you should have all your rights, including your Second Amendment rights. But I want to know what you guys think, because this friend of mine is losing 2 years of his life for being in possession of things that are totally legal for most of us to be in possession of. I've got a lot more firearms here than what he was caught with, but they're totally legal for me to have because I didn't get a felony DUI. He got a felony DUI, and that makes it so that they can put him in prison for 2 years for being in possession of something that is totally legal, and not just legal, but protected under the Constitution as a right. Do you guys agree with me or not? Because I can understand if they made him do a weekend or 2 in jail because, he didn't follow, he had a probation violation. But 2 years in prison, not for committing any crime, just for being in possession of firearms, which are totally legal, because he had a felony DUI that he was on probation for. Do you guys think that's right or not? Because this is not just him. There are people all over the country going through similar things. And there have been cases about it. And as far as like the Bruin precedent goes, I mean, I don't think that when the Second Amendment was written, that if someone got in trouble for something nonviolent, it meant that they lost their rights to protect themselves. And so I do think that maybe he has a chance at an appeal, but I don't know. Those things are long shots. So we'll see. But I want to know what you guys think. Please let me know down in the comments. Let's have a real discussion about this. And if you think I'm way off base, let me know. But if you agree with me, let me know that as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. Let me know what you think about the new setup here. I got some new lighting. I got, more stuff from Hold Up Displays. I want to thank those guys. My night vision helmet here. More, I was able to hang more of my firearms on the wall. Let me know what you think about all that as well. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.